Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys, on this lovely morning in Los Angeles, guys. And today I've got for y'all my no hype breakdown on this fragrance that is pretty much one of the most hyped, if not the most hyped fragrance right now, the most demanded in my channel. I tried this fragrance initially when I was in Singapore, but this time after maybe 2 or 3 wears of this fragrance, I've had a full, wear appreciation, a full hack, a full understanding of this fragrance right here. So if that is what you are looking for, I've got the goods for you today, guys. Let's go. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. All right, liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel. You can become a member as well. In addition, if you would like to help us further, but please continue all your support. I have over 700 no hype videos to deep dive on, and it's a huge backlog too that I gotta do. So please continue all your support. If you have any requests, comment it below. If you're hearing hype on certain fragrances that I don't have here, please comment below. Thank you very much for your support. And the fragrance that we will be talking about today is none other than the ultra hyped, much demanded fragrance on my channel to review. This is none other than Ex Nihilo Blue Talisman. Yes, Blue Talisman by Ex Nihilo. Oh boy, here we go, guys. Now, this fragrance obviously is much hyped right now because, of course, summer is just around the corner, guys, all right? Or if it's already almost summer. So it's May, it's going to be June, summer is coming. And so all these blue, fresh, aquatic fragrances, these are running amok nowadays, and they are being really talked about in the fragrance community, really hyped and really demanded, guys. Now, what is a talisman? Okay, so blue, we already know it's, obviously an aquatic or marine themed fragrance, but a talisman basically means it is a ring or medallion or amulet that is said to possess magical powers. All right, so that is a talisman. So I'm sure a lot of y'all already know that. And so Blue Talisman, basically the concept means that this is a fragrance that is blue in nature, that possesses magical powers. All right, so let's see today on this review if this fragrance truly did give me the magical powers, because I got a lot to say about this fragrance right here. I cannot wait to tell you. Let's go spray this thing right now. Oh yeah. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this most hyped fragrance right here, Blue Talisman by Ex Nihilo. Now, as you can tell from my expression once I sprayed this fragrance, I mean, definitely the opening is the important part here. It's definitely impactful. It's definitely great. And there are reasons for such, okay? So right here in the opening, you're going to get pear. You're going to get bergamot. You're going to get mandarin. You're going to get ginger. But the important thing here is that you are also getting the early appearance of that ambroflix, which is basically ISOE super and a mild ambroxan together. All right, it is a molecule that has ISOE super. Now, what that does is that it creates that blue initial marine blue feel, sweet and blue here in the intro of Blue Talisman. It creates kind of like a sea or a blanket of ambroflix that when mixed with the mandarin here, I gotta say that sets the tone of this fragrance. Now, on top of that, you have other notes such as pear and bergamot that provide an initial crispness from the get-go, an initial crisp, mood-enhancing start from pear and bergamot. But again, looking at the ambroflix, the mandarin, the eventual ginger, these are all, you could say, settled down notes, okay? Warming, settled down notes. And this is what happens. You start off with the pear and bergamot, but then eventually that opening settles down into this beautiful, blue mandarin, ISOE super ambroxan mix with ginger. And you have this lovely death opening. I mean, I gotta say, this opening right here, I have never seen And this is like what, 3 years of reviewing, almost 10 years of collecting perfumes. I have never seen a fragrance garner that many compliments. All right. And I mean, this is not like some bullshit compliments. All right. This is really a lot of people smelling this fragrance and they go, oh my God, what is that? Like, you are currently wearing a really, really good perfume. And let me tell y'all, like, I'm actually a warm and friendly person, but I actually kind of look intimidating, like, in person. So it's not common for people to go beyond just a compliment, but a lot of people go beyond that and they ask me, what is this fragrance? And I've seen them look it up on their phones, like immediately after, look it up, check the price on it, because they're actually serious about buying it. So that is what I can say. This opening, which is again a lethal dose of ISOE Super, Ambro Flicks, Marine, Mandarin, Ginger, which we all love. I mean, put it together and you have the highest, for me, most complimented fragrance I have ever gotten. So for those that are asking that question, Blue Talisman is the winner. Now, there is a fragrance that immediately reminded me of this fragrance, and that's the OG Bleu de Chanel, okay? Like, I've owned it like years ago, decades ago. I was one of the first few people that really enjoyed it, loved it, and got to wear the first bottles or the first editions of that. And I gotta say that this gives some Bleu de Chanel feels. And matter of fact, one of my coworkers, Ernie, I don't know if he's watching this, is a Bleu de Chanel fan. That's like his like signature scent. And once he smelled Blue Talisman, he was just like, dude, I gotta have that too, because it really did give the same vibes as like a Bleu de Chanel. And what's that? It's basically like an elegant aquatic fragrance, not necessarily like a mood enhancer, like a summery like blast of brightness. It's not really that. This one has a very settled down like Mandarin and Ambro Flicks and Ginger, like I said, that creates kind of like that elegant blue smell that to me the OG Bleu de Chanel has. I haven't smelled any of the new ones, but in terms of the old ones, like this really reminded me of that. So with that being said, this might be one of your most complimented fragrances. Now, granted, this is not groundbreaking, and there are some contrarians that say, you know, this smells like whatever, like generic thing or whatever. However, I will say this, that after trying so many perfumes and reviewing so many perfumes, I can say firmly that notes of Mandarin, notes of ginger, or perfumes that have Mandarin, ginger, and Ambroxan and ISOE Super, when done correctly, are really one of the most complimented fragrances. I mean, everyone around you will break necks. I mean, that's what happened to me. Every time I wore this fragrance, it broke necks. People were asking me, people were complimenting me, people were smelling me, and then would like walk away and then come back and complimenting me and asking me what this was, and then they were looking it up on their phones. So this is really a very impactful fragrance that has, again, a very settled down, elegant feel. It's not a mood enhancer technically, but it is really like that undercover mood enhancer. It's great. Okay, now let's talk about the sillage and projection of this fragrance. This fragrance, due to the ISOE Super, has a really good aura projection. All right, especially in the beginning. And actually for the next few hours, I mean, up until maybe hour 7, I was still getting them compliments because of the strength of that. Okay, so this fragrance right here, it does feel like a settled down, lingering scent to the wearer, but make no mistake, people from far away will be able to smell you. And that's only with this little vial right here, like 5 sprays really. It has a lot of projection, some undercover projection, but also it has draw-in properties thanks to the ginger, thanks to the Ambro Flicks, right? The Mandarin. These are all draw-in portions of this fragrance that if you wore it on a date, obviously, this would be lethal, all right? Just like how Bleu de Chanel used to be lethal back in the day. I don't know if it's still lethal right now, but back in the day, it was really, really amazing. Great for dates. So I would say the same for Blue Talisman. Okay, now let's head into the mid of this fragrance. Now, the mid is basically an extender. It's an extender. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were some people that were saying that this fragrance is linear or it's almost the same all throughout. And I mean, why end a good thing? That is my thoughts about the mid, because the mid is basically an extender to that lovely intro. Because like I said, Mandarin Ginger Ambroflix really takes over the intro from that pear in the beginning and that bergamot. And then eventually here in the mid, you have Orange Blossom that basically continues the boost of that orange. And then you have this thing called Georgie Wood, which really to me just smells like sweet amber. All right, now the sweet amber continues kind of like the trend with the Ambroflix, some sweetness with, like I said, that orange blossom. That's the mid. And this mid, to be honest, is really low key. The extension of the orange and the sweetness. Again, the Ambroflix is there from the beginning till the end, so there's no change in that. Coverage is there. You won't even feel it change. I mean, for me, I really take the time to smell the changes, guys. But really, as the wearer, I don't think you'll really feel or smell the difference, because at that point, either you've closed your date down or you are getting so many compliments that you're enjoying all the attention from all these people telling you how great smelling you are. But again, basically, the mid is an extension of, you can say, the real beginning of this fragrance. And so I have no qualms with that. You don't need to change a good thing. It's still great. Now, with that being said, with the mid pretty much a booster or an extender of the opening, okay, let's talk about the coverage of that, because the coverage of this orange and marine and blue type of blanket right here with the sweetness of that Georgie Wood, this whole thing really lasts up to like hour 15, guys. All right, hour 15. And you won't really notice the change, like I said. And the thing is too that I want to say is that the sillage is just consistent. And it's really, again, undercover powerful, because again, I broke a lot of necks wearing this fragrance, guys. Like, I didn't expect it. I thought I was wearing a consistent lingering scent, but then it would reach people several feet away from me. So let me tell you that the sillage is consistent up to, like, again, hour 12, consistent sillage. So the performance and coverage is there on this fragrance, plus again, that amazing compliment factor. Now, based on what I said, does the dry down even really matter? All right, because you have a long coverage, like I said, of the sweetness, the ambery sweetness, the Ambroflix, that ISOE Super, plus the orange blossom. It has a very, very long coverage, guys. And so this dry down, where you have the notes listed, Ambroflix, which is, again, it's already in the beginning. Then you have musk, which is, it's already part of the whole deal. But then you have Akigala wood, which is basically like a peppery wood combination. I believe this is another synthetic molecule. It's not a real thing. But this one right here, this little peppery, undercover, spicy wood really comes in late in the game. And I'm talking about maybe 13 to 14 hours into wearing this fragrance. There's going to be a slightly spicy and woody gradient towards the end. But again, that's too far into it already. I really believe that this fragrance is really more forward leaning into the mid, and the mid has a very long coverage. But if you guys want to know, yes, there is that Akigala wood, that spice warming wood near the very, very end, when the orange blossom sort of like backs up on the sweetness, and it's going to be musk and Akigala wood. Again, for me, 13 hours later. Like, who the hell cares about 13 hours later? Now, obviously, as you can tell from my experience wearing this fragrance, I think this deserves the hype. It's a winner to me, guys. And again, it is not groundbreaking. To me, this is just like a juxtaposition of all the notes that I know are compliment getting, that are attracting other people when you wear it. Again, Mandarin Ginger, ISOE Super, and Ambroxan. I've had crazy stories with Ambroxan wearing fragrances like Le Manzate by Louis Vuitton. I've had some crazy experiences on the feedback on that. But this one is really truly more like a Blue de Chanel type feel. It's that elegant blue, settled down blue with mandarin, ginger, and amber flicks, sweetness of amber eventually, orange blossom as the booster, some musk. So this is like an elegant type of fragrance. And this will not be your summery, freshy boost. This is something that I really can see can be worn in dates, in indoor occasions, actually anywhere. But for me, the most deadly is to wear this really on a date because it is very attractive. And that's really where I see this. Now, obviously, there are going to be contrarians that are going to say it's just meh, it's just the same as other fragrances. Yeah, sure. I mean, I've tried some pretty good like Mandarin style fragrances like Boadicea, the Victorious Faith. That definitely had something right there with the Mandarin and Aquatic Blue. But this one, I think, is much more straightforward. It's easy to wear. It's easy to love. And the only thing you won't like this for is if you really like more complex perfumes, because this just simply delivers the goods on usability, enjoyment of wear, and the feedback from other people, which is, that to me is a knockout in terms of saying if this fragrance is hype or not. This is obviously not just a spring summer fragrance. You can wear this any day, any time, any moment of the year. And again, for me, this is more like a Blue de Chanel. This is something that I would wear at night. All right, that's just me. Maybe some of y'all like to wear it in the daytime, outdoors. But for me, this is an indoor, nighttime occasion fragrance. That is what I think. And do I feel like this fragrance is unisex? I feel like this fragrance is unisex. Matter of fact, I had some women smell this fragrance, look it up, and I asked them, are you going to buy it for your spouse or your boyfriend? And they were like, no, I'm going to buy it for myself. And they even like asked me twice, like, do you think that this is like wearable for women? I think so. I think it is a unisex fragrance. Again, it's only like blue and aquatic for some guys. Maybe that's the translation, but the sweetness, the magical powers, the elegance, that is something that I believe this is unisex, you know, in terms of the usage. Let's look at the bottle price. Now, the interesting thing is that you have multiple different sources of what the bottle price is. There are some people that are complaining about the price of this one. I've seen bottles for as low as $100 going all the way up to $285 in Harrods. Now, again, you know, what I gotta say is that first and foremost, if we're talking about, does this have like a designer feel? Actually, yes. But the thing is, you know, designers nowadays, the prices of designer perfumes are slowly creeping up to niche levels. All right. The designer perfumes are now getting to the 200 levels. And again, looking at the prices right here on my laptop, I can see that you can get this fragrance 100 ml for as low as $100. All right, you just gotta Google it, okay? And with that being said, that makes this an incredible steal if you can get it in between $100 to $150. $300 or even 300 euros might be too much for this, but again, this is a very highly usable, highly complemented perfume. So that makes every single ounce of this, every little drop of this fragrance very usable when it comes to bang for your buck. And finally, let's talk about the ultimate performance of this fragrance. Total performance, definitely over 15 hours, okay? Now again, it might feel like a moderate lingering scent for some of y'all, but because of all the synthetic notes here, the amber flicks, I mean, definitely, like I said, I was getting people like several feet away or even more that could actually smell this fragrance every time I walked by them. So again, consistent sillage for me until maybe hour 12 or 13. And then you have that Akigala wood musk taking over past that, which, like I said, doesn't even matter. Not really. Most people would have already taken a shower and have gone into bed way earlier than that. So ultimately, it is a full coverage of that elegant blue complement getting Mandarin aquatic combination, again with stuff that we love. It's an orangey perfume to me, even if it had pear and bergamot in the beginning. Those were just initial starters, but eventually orange, Mandarin, these are really the strong consistent themes in Ex Nihilo's Blue Talisman. This is a safe blind buy for anyone that wants to use fragrances for really what they are, which is for you to enjoy and for everyone to enjoy. All right, this is not like niche level, like it's only for me or it's based on my mood. No, this is flat out wear it, get complimented, close down the date, that type of deal, get all the attention from everyone type of perfume. And so I really am not surprised why a lot of y'all urged me to review this fragrance. This definitely has a stamp of my approval. And to me, honestly, after trying this fragrance, I think I will get a full bottle. I actually will get a full bottle of this because you can really, really use it, guys. I mean, I like it. I think it's not that expensive. And you know, I have a lot of samples, guys, but at the end of the day, I have very few full bottles that I really consider, okay, I really want to have it in my collection. Blue Talisman is one of them. I will get one very, very soon. And that is it. That is my no hype review on Ex Nihilo's Blue Talisman. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance. I'm sure a lot of y'all at this point have already tried it or blind bought it. I would like to know your thoughts, good or bad. Even if you are a contrarian, I would love to know your thoughts on this fragrance right here. Again, definitely worth the hype. And that's for me, the no hype guy. So that is it. That's my no hype review. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys on my next video tomorrow. God bless. Take care. Peace.